Capcom presents Marvel vs. Capcom! Come on! Marvel vs. Capcom!
Geronimo! Sword Destroyer!
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. Now, I told you when I first started doing this series that I wasn't gonna go in order and you know, if there were sequels to video games, discuss them on a later episode or whatever the case may be. And this is one of those times, man. As you've already seen, if you've been keeping up with the series, I've talked about Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and what a great game that was, and just my memories of it. And today we are going to be talking about Marvel vs. Capcom, the original Clash of the Superheroes, man. So this game came out in arcade in January of '98. And then was ported over first to the Dreamcast, and then to the PlayStation, and then later re-released on PlayStation in the early 2010s as part of the Origins collection. So I was lucky enough to get a copy of the original Marvel vs. Capcom on PlayStation when it dropped. I didn't have a Dreamcast at the time, so I wasn't able to play the original Marvel vs. Capcom on Dreamcast, but I did play it on PlayStation and in the arcades, man. And I was just really excited, man, because I had played, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, all the games that preceded this, but this one was just so many memories for me, man. Just going in there and playing as I used to love to play as a War Machine, because he was one of my favorites growing up. Loved Iron Man, loved War Machine, loved all the Marvel guys, man. And so this for me playing this was cool. It always answered those what if questions. What if Ryu from Street Fighter was going to fight Wolverine, or what if the Hulk was going to battle Morgan from Darkstalkers, and all this, what would happen, and it answered those questions, man, and it was just a really fun game. So I know on PlayStation, if you didn't want to do the traditional, crossover mode, you also had like one-on-one mode where you can just pick one hero and then go through the game with them, go through the arcade mode with them. That was the mode that I preferred. I didn't really like crossover mode. I don't know why. But I loved the one-on-one arcade mode where, like I said, you could just pick one person and just go. You can either have the superhero have one of the people from the roster do a like manual assist, or you can pick what's called a partner hero, and that gave you an access to to a bunch of other people that weren't playable in the game, but they were only able to do an assist. And the most the most the most used the most assist the most used assist character on my end. Forgive me, please. My words are just crazy. The most used assist character on my end was Juggernaut. You had Psylocke, you had Arthur from Knight to the Round Table in there. You had just Colossus, Rogue, Jubilee. A lot of those characters that I just mentioned would go on to be playable in future installments of the franchise. Like I mentioned in my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 review, the roster was just huge, huge by leaps and bounds of the first one. The first one had maybe I think maybe 20, 25 playable characters, and then Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had over 60, 56 actually to be exact. But yeah, man, it was just Marvel vs. Capcom. I love playing the original, man. And I remember on PlayStation there were secret unlockable characters. You can unlock Shadow Sakura, Shadow Chun Li. What do you call it? Who else? Armor Zangief. And I know Venom had a gold suit that you can unlock. And what else? And also you can unlock Onslaught, who was the voice of the main boss in the game. So Onslaught was a mix of when Magneto fused with Professor X, and they performed Onslaught. They formed Onslaught, I should say, and Onslaught followed in the footsteps of Apocalypse from X-Men vs. Street Fighter, where he would just be his regular size. You would fight him one round, and then in the next round, you would fight a supersized version of him where he would have drills, and his hand would turn into drills, a wrecking ball, or his eyes would shoot lasers and stuff like that. So you really had to be on your A game when facing Onslaught, man. But the way to combat Onslaught is, just make sure that you avoid his hand, as he'll tell you when you face him. Funny if you know what I'm talking about. But and also just use Juggernaut, like I said, as your assist partner. Juggernaut has a really powerful head crush attack, which does a lot of damage to your opponents, including Onslaught. And just make sure you have super saved up and use them, and you'll pretty much be able to beat them. So man, and I remember getting the game, and I'm like, getting the game on PlayStation. I'm like, man, I don't have to go out to the arcade anymore to play this. Boy, was I should have kept going to the arcade, because that's a lost art, man. There are not very many standalone arcades anymore, if any, that still exist today, man. So definitely took that for granted when I was a kid. But I remember being super excited to play Marvel vs. Capcom, and still play to this day, man. Still love it. I still have my original copy on PlayStation. Man, just so many memories, and playing with my brother Gus, who taught me everything I know about Marvel vs. Capcom and Street Fighter and stuff like that. Because I was always like a button mash kind of guy, but playing with him taught me to use strategy and everything like that. He taught me a lot of strategy, and he's pretty nice too at fighting games and stuff like that. So it's always good to play with him, and he still today, even though he doesn't really play video games often, he'll pop in every once in a while if I'm playing a fighting game, and he'll get on the stick, and it's pretty cool just to still play against him to this day, and still see if he still got it, man. He's still pretty nice after all this time. So yeah, Definitely, man. Marvel's Capcom, man. Never forget playing. Just another memory that I have that I'll hold on to forever. Especially, like I said, because it's playing with my brother, and he and I are very close. So definitely shout out to him. And thanks for teaching me everything I know, bro. Appreciate it. Anyway, man, that's gonna do it for this episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.